I hope you're ready because I put down some questions and yeah, I
It is
hope
a
we
liver
do
bee.
have. I hope we have fun. Eh? We actually do have fun.
We will.
So yeah, yeah. My first question, obviously, I'm sure you actually did see it. Is who or what is the one thing that influenced you to begin your, radio presenting journey?
Well, it's a number of things, but number one is the one thing that sort of influenced me was Kevin Smith. He's a podcaster, he's a director. You might be
Yeah, yeah,
familiar with his movies and stuff. And
yeah,
he's got this unique brand style of podcasting, and it's always funny and entertaining. And with the COVID lockdown, we all
yeah,
had lots of spare time and everything. So I figured I like talking to people. I'm somewhat funny at times. Just ask anyone, they'll tell you. And
yeah.
yeah, so the idea was to sort of take a page out of Kevin Smith's book and just entertain in a way I know how, and that's just telling garbage stories and talking rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's actually cool. So yeah, in fact, it sounds like you love, being in the crowd and doing
Oh, I
everything.
do probably too much.
One of those, yeah. Are you an extrovert? I think you actually are. Are you?
Yes, I MC weddings and stuff as well in my spare time. So I just as in Australia we say I'm just a fool.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's actually awesome. That's awesome. Sure. So yeah, you just wanted to speak and entertain people and everything.
Yeah,
Definitely.
entertaining people and hearing interesting stories. And I've
Yeah.
always sort of been inquisitive and always curious about interesting people, and that's what sort of started this whole thing, this Life's and Mitch journey, and it's been good so far. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I
Yeah.
get into it full time one day.
Yeah. No, there is awesome. That is actually awesome. So how long have you been, working in the radio and podcasting, industry?
Uh, Not quite 6 months. It's been interesting so far. So I started at the back end of last year, and I'm now doing this podcast weekly and
Yeah, yeah,
volunteering at a local radio station here in Australia.
yeah. Ah, that's awesome. That's actually awesome. So how was the experience so far?
Yeah, good. I got to live out a childhood dream. If you want me to share that story with you, it's been interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No, like,
So,
yeah.
sorry, you go.
No, I did hear like the last last week. I did hear a show of yours on Spotify. It was actually
Yeah,
interesting. I was like, sure, okay, nah, this is it, really awesome. And I
thank
was
you.
now it got me to actually think. I'm like, okay, so what do you actually focus on? When you're doing your shows, like what is your main focus?
Main
And
focus
yeah,
is storytelling. So the idea is to get people on, interesting people on who have a great story to tell,
yeah,
and give it a bit of a funny Australian spin on things. And so far, I met people from 22 different countries.
sure, okay,
And I met interesting people from motivational speakers in the Muslim community to comedians to musicians to influencers to clairvoyant readings on air. It's been quite
hey,
the eclectic journey so
sure,
far.
sure. Yeah, that's like you getting exposed to different let me say part of lives, like hey, there's interesting people and yeah, sure, that's actually awesome. That is awesome. And what is the one thing that like most of them would ask you, like from your
So
experience?
it's one is how do I people keep asking me, why don't you do something with, you got a head for radio, so why not do something with it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and the one common thing is there's a section of the show at the end called having a with Mitchy, where we just have a good old whine about whatever's ailing us. And the one common
Yeah, yeah,
thread is um, people seem to whinge about or whine about, people on the road and how impatient people can be. And
yeah.
people ask me, in every way, like, is there going to be another person who's going to have a good old whine this week? So it's the common trend is, why'd you get into it? How are you able to talk to people? And what's wrong with people on the road?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's actually that's interesting. Sure. That is really interesting.
It's every time every so we always have a light hearted laugh, and
Yeah.
at the very end it's always good getting some trouble off your chest, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually true. And yeah, even myself, I would say like speaking to people, yeah, you sometimes okay, like for myself, like with my experience, I'll be going through things and then from speaking to people, I'm like, whoa, wait, okay, I'm actually I'm in a better situation here and I'm thinking I'm worse, and then you find out that, hey, this person has been going through interesting stuff, or you actually get an answer of how to deal with your situation just from hearing, them and all those stuff. So yeah,
Definitely.
it is true. Yeah, it's true. You actually, it's interesting. Let me just put it that way. It's actually interesting. Now, from your experience, like, what would you say your biggest failure and achievement is from that?
Well, biggest achievement is I started this off just as a fun passion project, but I actually went on an Australian game show called Mastermind, and I wore
Sure.
so there's a podcast, a Scrubs themed podcast called Fake Doctors, Real Friends, and I wore their onesie on national TV,
Yeah.
and it sort of went viral, and
Sure.
the producer of this Fake Doctors, Real Friends podcast, Joel, tagged Donald and so JD and Turk from Scrubs.
Sure.
Donald Faison and Zach Braff were tagged, and then
Yeah.
as a result, I got to go on their podcast, and I had them in stitches. I had them laughing so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. That's actually awesome. Yeah. Wow. That is really
and
awesome. Yeah.
and I guess the biggest fail is just lots of non-landing dad jokes and puns. They're just going, "Oh, Mitch, what are you doing, mate?"
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No, that is true. Hey, even myself, I have experienced that, where, yeah, you try and learn something and then it's like quiet. And yeah, in your
Crickets.
yeah, in fact, yeah, if they were there, you could actually hear them. You're like, oh, okay, the ambience here.
So moving
Yeah.
on, I can't believe you just said that. Anyways, moving on. Do you like stuff?
Yeah. No, I have thought to myself, yeah, like, what are you thinking? Hey, could have done better, or hey, you shouldn't have done that. Hey, yeah, no,
It's you just sort of going
actually,
head in the hand, just going, "What are you doing, mate?"
yeah, no, it's actually good to hear that I'm not the only one experiencing stuff like this. And
If
yeah,
it's anything like me, man, you just I at the extent it's always me myself. I'll
yeah.
say something, the brain will catch up and say, "Oh, Mitch, what are you doing, man?"
Yeah, no, that is true. Sure, that is true. And yeah, I actually do think you grow from that. You actually do grow from those things, and you actually do need those things. You need those situations in life where you gain experience from. That's one thing that I've seen from those situations. You actually do gain experience, and you're like, wow, I had this, so that means next time I shouldn't do this. And you're able to also identify when it's coming. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, right there, I see it coming again. No, let me just divert, move on to this so that it doesn't happen again.
Stay away from that joke this week. It's mate, you suck.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. Now, yeah, just to obviously get to know you a bit, like concerning life, like what's actually your, perspective? Like, how do you see life in general?
Well, life itself, we're here for X amount of time. We don't have, we're not told how long for. So life in general is, I know it sounds cliche, but it's what you make it. Like, there's no point having all these grand aspirations and designs and ideas and taking them to the graveyard with you. As vague
Yeah.
as that sounds, or as dark as that sounds, like, if you want to do something, if you want to start a radio show, if you want to do a backflip or go to the pool, whatever it is, then
Yeah.
I think you should try and do it. And a little victory each day goes a long way. And I got to meet two of my like favorite actors as a kid because I grew
Wow.
up watching Scrubs, and
Yeah.
it would never have happened if I didn't take a stand and start this little project.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're sure. That is actually true. That's true. And yeah, like, there's some things that even myself, in life where I thought, let me do this. And then, hey, I didn't do it. Like one of them, being parkour, parkour or free running.
Yes, I'm not good at it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
know it.
I actually I love parkour. I
Yeah.
attempted, to do it. Like, you look at the person do a backflip. You're like, yo, that was cool. Yo, look at that backflip. I can also do it. And then there you are on your bed trying to do a backflip. You're like, okay, nah, this is not for me. Oh, that is definitely not for me. So yeah, I've had those situations.
I look like a
And yeah.
I look like a flaming harp seal on the beach trying to, get out of the sand. I can't do it, man.
Yeah. No, hey, that is true. And I think from what you just said, like, yeah, you do have a lot of people that are in the grave and they had amazing dreams. Like they actually had amazing dreams and they didn't even attempt to, achieve them. And you get few people, or you get those people that do say that the grave is the richest place to be, because there's like all these
Absolutely.
amazing dreams that are like just there and they never actually saw the light. And yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, I do have an idea. Yeah, but hey, some ideas to go for, hey, they like dangerous, like the parkour situation. Like you look at the person, hey, epic fail, you're like, no, I don't want that, so I'm cool. So yeah, I do get what you're saying. And yeah, like the other question that I do have is concerning, your experience and your journey. So from when you started, how was it from when you started compared to now?
Well, it started, you start off, you're nervous, and, like all things, you need practice. And the podcast started off, so it's Good Life and Mitch podcast. It started off as like in relationships and just about like banter stories. Like, and I realized that would have fizzled out quickly. And
Yeah.
it's truly like, it's fine and all, but you would have a very niche sort of market and you couldn't, get many more. Like, the idea is to get as many people involved as possible,
Yeah.
as many walks of life. And it's developed into this love. I've always loved storytelling, but people come on and share these amazing experiences and in a lighthearted way, and you're able just to like take it all in. Like, I'm like a fanboy instead of like, remember when you're in kindergarten and teacher would read the
Yeah.
book to you while you're on the floor. And so you're able to just sort of virtually go over the planet and hear these incredible stories. And
Yeah.
like, can I tell you about one of the guests that I had on?
Yeah.
So her name's Barke. She's from Zanzibar originally and was
Yeah.
forced into an arranged marriage, and they moved to London.
Hey.
Now her husband at the time treated her like garbage for 10 years. They had two children together.
Sure.
And over time she bided time, and she eventually built up the courage to ask for a divorce. They separated, and she's taken all these life experiences she's had, and now she's a motivational speaker in the Muslim community worldwide. And
Sure.
to take pain of what she's been through and to be able to coach others, and she's an author, and like, I just think to be able to transcend and transform where you go from,
Yeah.
I think it's incredible. Like these, and that's why I love doing it, because you get to hear awesome stories, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get opportunities like this to speak to awesome people like yourself.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true.
You're
That is
like,
true.
stop it.
Yeah. No, sure. That is amazing. And yeah, you actually do get people who go through stuff like that. And yeah, like most of them, you'd look at them, they'll put on a face and you wouldn't even think that they're actually going through stuff like that. Like your
That's
divorce,
right.
yeah, like going home knowing that, hey, at home is rough. It's not a place that I wanna be, like even like spend an hour, because it's really bad. So you wouldn't think that there's actually, yeah, such situations in their lives. But yeah, that's why, yeah, with radio it's awesome. It's really amazing. You get to hear such stories and yeah, things like that. Well, I got another question, which is, what is your biggest dream as an individual?
My biggest dream would be to be able to be in a paid role and entertain people regularly. I mean, I'm in a volunteering role now, and people are
Yeah.
listening to this podcast as well. But the idea is to be able to regularly, hear stories, entertain, make people laugh as often as I can, because I'm an absolute. And when you can,
Yeah.
it sounds selfish, but I like the limelight, and I like to be able to bring people in and interview in this own unique style, and just absolutely have a good time, man. I'm in my element doing this. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so the ultimate dream is to meet as many people as I can, and go on to meet some of my idols as well, like I have so far. That's the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
and keep going with it.
Okay. Okay. Nah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. So if I had to be an individual that has never listened to your show, I've never heard of you, but now I just got exposed to your stuff. How, yeah, how would you get me to listen to your show?
I would say it is awesome. Good night. Nah. so you it's you explain it for what it is. So it's a podcast about storytelling with amazing individuals who have stories that ordinarily wouldn't get a chance to be in the limelight, and you get to uncover some incredible superhumans. And with a unique Aussie style of like humor and slang, and we carry on like absolute fools and have fun, and we get to have lighthearted discussions about whatever it is that's ailing us as well, in the form of having so um and we and so I and ultimately what I would say is that there will be a story that everyone can resonate with. There's topics we cover. There's guests on there from 22 different countries. There's a wide range of professions on there, influencers, and so yeah, I would say come on, have a laugh and have a listen, and I guarantee you'll be having your cheeks will be sore. I guarantee it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. They are actually funny. Yeah, there were times last week when I was listening to one of your shows there on Spotify. Yeah, there were times
Yep.
where I was actually, yeah, I giggled. I was like, sure, this is interesting.
You just, if at the very least, just you listen to me feeling sorry and feeling embarrassed for me, just going, I can't believe he said that. So
Yeah, because yeah, some things you don't think that, yeah, one would say it, live and all the stuff, and then when you hear it, you're like, oh,
oh
okay.
yeah, that's where I live my life, just in that
Yeah.
embarrassment zone.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, any last words, like, just for a listener or an individual, that is out there, probably even going through stuff, or yeah, just, living life. What would your last words be to that individual?
Well, I guess the words would be is that you're not alone. We're in a time where we're lucky enough to be able to connect like this.
Yeah,
We're in countries that are thousands of kilometers apart, but in an age where everyone is able to connect even if it's over a video format,
yeah,
and that everyone has a story to tell, and that I would
yeah,
say that I'm just a regular guy, so I'm a coal miner by trade, and I'm just a guy who works shift work who enjoys doing this in his spare time, and it makes me happy. So
sure.
you're able to hear that infectious happiness go through, and it resonates with the guest. And I
Yeah,
would say that out there, if you're not alone, so if you want to do something, there are communities there that will help you achieve those goals. I'm
yeah,
Mitch
yeah.
Kelly.
Sure.
Sorry, that was a cheesy tagline.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Do you love movies? Like, do you like watch movies? Are you like a movie
Oh, I'm a
fan?
huge nerd.
Oh, for
I
real?
Yeah, so
Sure.
that's one of the reasons I love storytelling is that some of
Yeah.
my favorite like franchise obviously Star Wars, Marvel. I read comics, I watch anime, I buy video games for single player
Oh,
and get invested in the stories. So like
I feel you,
I bought
man.
Halo for single player.
Yeah. That's awesome stuff. Yeah, that is awesome stuff. You don't get, okay, yeah, they're out there, but like, they don't really like say, you meet them for the first time. Hey, I watch anime. Like, okay. You don't
Oof.
get people who are like,
I
hey,
many
all the
Tinder
stuff.
dates, so my likes include anime.
Yeah. Nah, that's awesome.
Usually doesn't go down well, but anyways.
Yeah, yeah. So just like, yeah, this is like a personal question, like out of interest. Like, if you had to choose
Yeah.
between DC and Marvel, what would you choose?
Comics wise, DC, movies wise, Marvel.
Ah, okay, okay. Okay, so comic wise DC, movie wise Marvel. Okay, on the movie
Yeah, I
side,
think
I'm with
that
you.
I think that the comics and graphic novels of Marvel, oh sorry,
Yeah,
of DC are higher quality. Personal opinion, and
yeah.
the cinematic universe that Marvel's doing is a better quality than DC. Dare I say it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Now that's really awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. So, do you care to leave us with a radio drop? Just, yeah, basically introducing yourself,
Yeah,
and then, yeah.
this is Mitch, host of Life's a Mitch podcast, and you're listening to Active FM.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And yeah, it was really interesting, speaking to you. And the last time I actually so how I actually got to listen to your podcast on Spotify was I was actually looking for your page, like as in your Facebook account. If you actually have a
Yeah.
personal Facebook account, I was looking for one, and then I saw your page, your Facebook page, and then I got to go through Spotify. So I just wanted to find out: do you have a personal Facebook account?
Yeah, so I do. It's facebook.com/Life's a Mitch podcast in one word. And I've got Instagram too. It's Life's a Mitch _podcast. And I got links to Apple, SoundCloud, and Spotify on there. It's where I'm streaming.
Okay.
And yeah, so I got the tube and website coming soon.
Okay, no, that's really awesome. That's awesome. Sure. Thank you once again for your time, because a lot of people, they wouldn't actually do what you just did today. Like, some people they out there, not interested, in doing what you did today. So from our side, Active FM as a whole, we actually do appreciate the fact that you took time, to be in an interview with us as well. And looking forward, in terms of the future to interacting and other future interview that we can do together. Yeah. That's from my side.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to know that there's people out there that are still willing to want to share stories and connect. And yeah, I appreciate your time there as well.
Yeah. Nah, awesome. Do take care. Make sure you stay in one piece. Yeah. No, we want you still kicking.
Oh, it's a big piece, but I will.
Yeah. Hey, just make sure, and then make sure you impact the world and change the world out there. Yeah.
Likewise. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Peace, hey. Cheers.
Peace. See ya.